How's it going, guys? Now that we've seen both France and the All Blacks release their squads for the upcoming game this weekend, I want to break it down. I want to give my thoughts on it because there's been a lot of changes. So I want to hear what your thoughts are as well. Please like, subscribe. It really does help the channel grow. And let's get into it. So first up, we look into the All Black side. Actually, I'm trying something new. So I'm gonna try and add both squads right next to me on either side, so you guys can take a look at what I'm talking about from here. So Ethan de Groot, Taukeaho, and then Tyro Lomax versus Bugarit, Slimani, and Erdochio. Slimani, he's getting on. He's a good player. I like watching him. I love seeing him come on for Leinster. They've got power, but is it enough to stop Tyro Lomax and de Groot? I don't think so. Lomax is one of the scariest tight heads in the world. Never mind coming up against at points, disjointed French side. The size, the speed, I can't wait to see Takeaho play. I haven't watched that much of him, so I'm really looking forward to actually studying him as he plays up against France. But at points over here, I'm finding complete mismatches. I really, really hope the French are going to be putting in a solid performance, but I am seeing complete mismatches here. I mean, we have Patrick Tuipulotu and Fabian Holland coming in as that lock pairing to Halagahu and Uradu. Fabian Holland, the more I watch, the more I'm impressed with him. The more I see, the more I can't believe. This guy, he is phenomenal and he is so young as well. So he's definitely one for the future and someone that's going to be causing everybody lots of problems. And he's just getting better. Same thing with Patrick Tuipulotu. Tuipulotu is, like I say, he's unreal. He doesn't seem like he should be a real person. He is just scary, absolutely scary. So, in terms of quality, experience, in terms of physicality, French might hate me for saying this, but the All Blacks have it. In the tight five, the All Blacks have this, in my opinion, hands down. They beat them player for player. Obviously, there is a little bit of a change up in terms of the back row with the likes of Samipeni Finau, Artie Surveyor, and then Luke Jacobson. Luke Jacobson coming in at 8 is going to be interesting to see how he's able to handle the pressure here, right? Because this is going to be a complete pressure test. How quickly is he going to get to that ball? And how effective is he going to be? Obviously, he will have Artie Surveyor at 7 and then Finau at 6, which, that adds a lot of support. It just comes down to how quickly they can move, right? Because this French side, they are known for moving quickly. They are known for trying to get into that phase play, right? They want to start building. They want to gain momentum. But I think looking at this, I can definitely see this going territory wise. They're going to get in. They're going to get into the 22. They're going to power through with rucks, mauls, scrums, lineouts. They're just going to dominate in terms of set pieces. And then they're just going to push forward. And then once the French start getting tired, which inevitably they will, we are then going to see the likes of Cortez Ratima and Damian McKenzie really start working their magic, really start putting everybody in. And then we're going to start seeing Reiko Ioane and Sevu Reece really come in and start to dominate. So France need to get on the scoreboard early. The quicker they can get on the scoreboard, the better. The bigger the gap that they can get, the better. If they allow New Zealand to get anything more than a 10-point gap on them, that's game over. That is game over. The All Blacks have too much experience. They are far too well drilled. There's no way they're going to be giving up that kind of lead. I say this, the first test between New Zealand and France, it was mind-blowing. It was spectacular. They put in a stellar performance. Our Razors learned from it. The players now understand what they need to do. They understand their shift. They understand what kind of pressure needs to be put on. And we saw this quite well in the second game, where the French were immobilized. They were kept silent. The All Blacks started quick. They got good points on the board really quickly, and then that gap just started to open. And then you started to see the French become less and less effective as time went on. Replacements were put in, but by then, I do feel it was really too late. The All Blacks started to dominate, and this is one thing that they do. Once they start to dominate, they're good luck getting them off. They're going to keep pushing for your 22, and they're going to keep poking at where it hurts until it starts to become raw. And then next thing you know, you have someone like Damian McKenzie playing some of the most ridiculous passes known to man, and just putting the All Blacks through, through to the try line. So my question here, because I think there's only one place that I feel the French have the All Blacks. That's in the center. The centers, we got Quinn Tupea and then Anton Linet Brown, whereas the French, they are rocking Deportere and Gaël Fickou. There is experience, there is quality, there is leadership as well. So this is definitely going to be something that the French are going to want to try and capitalize on, because, to be fair, they got monsters in Atisogbe and Villiers. You let them run, you give them space, and they're going to start making opportunities, right? That's just the nature of them. Atisogbe, whenever he's on the ball, he's creating something. He's active. He's feeling. You always feel when he gets that ball, something is going to happen. Whether he's going to try and that high kick, that up and on, he's going to go chasing. He's like that little dog that just does not stop running, right? So at this rugby, that's something you can definitely count on him to put that pressure, to add that energy, to add that momentum. The same thing with Villiers. He's going to try and break through, and he's going to try and hit those inside lines. The way he runs his lines is brilliant. He knows how to work his space very well. And, he's quite tricky in terms of getting around the back. So it's going to be interesting to see what kind of effect Villiers has. I do feel that Gaetan did not have the effect that was needed. I feel at points that in the last game, that French side seemed disjointed. They didn't know what they were doing. They kind of looked like lost dogs, just kind of wandering around at points. And then you had the All Blacks that were hyper focused. They were there. They were present. Just all I gotta say is Fabian Holland. It's just, he's scary. He really, really is scary. But like I say, the French individually have ridiculous talent. Ridiculous talent. They got Guillard, they got Atisogbe, they got Villiers, they got Barret, they got Hastoy, they got Lagarec, they got Uradu, they got Bougarit. Talent is phenomenal. It's getting them to play as one unit, getting them to defend as one unit. I think I said this in the French preview when I gave you guys the lineups. The French need to defend like their life depends on it. The French need to get back into formation. They need to get back onto their line immediately. So that means they get hit, they go down, they get back up pretty much in the same motion. And they aren't walking back into position, they are running back into position. Because I guarantee you, this is a guarantee, Cortez Ratima is going to be on that ball so quickly, and he's going to be playing both sides of that rock, right? He's going to be on that ball so quickly. By the time the French even understand who's holding the ball, Ratima is going to have that ball out, and that ball is going to be working its way down to Reiko Ioane, or it's going to be working its way down to Sevu Reece. And once that ball gets to either of them, good luck, because Damian McKenzie, who the ball's most likely going to start and originate from, and then some brilliance is going to be made from it. You can try to stop it, but good luck stopping it. The only explanation that I can kind of have, maybe you might not necessarily be a football fan, but there was a footballer called, his name was Arjen Robben, right? He always used to play on the right. He was a left-footed player. And it was always the thing. You know what he's going to do. You know he's going to come onto his left. and he's going to take on a play, and then he's going to shoot. The issue was stopping it. You know what's going to happen. You know how he's going to do it. You probably even seen him do it 900 times. But can you stop it? That is the difference. Will France be able to stop the All Blacks? I don't think so. As much as I would love to see a France win, as much as I want to see the French put through a dominating performance, this is something that we've seen from the tests. I feel the first test, it was a test. It was an understanding. The All Blacks understood what was needed. They understood the assignment. Second game, they came in. They got A's on that assignment, right? They put through everything and then really just started to dominate. And I think this is pretty much what's going to be happening here. I think we are going to see this changed All Black side dominate. They might take a little bit of time to start getting into the swing of things, but I think it's still going to be far, far too much for them. So, yeah, I have the All Blacks to win by a fairly good margin. Let me know what you guys think. Honestly, I'm pretty soon we are going to be seeing Brodie McAllister get his first cap. We probably are going to end up seeing Fletcher Newell come on, and he's going to be taking heads when he does. Duplessis Karifi, he's going to be taking heads when he comes in. Tavanawai, same thing. If Tavanawai comes on, this guy's name is so confusing. If he comes on, you know that he can cover the center, he can cover the wings. He is going to just disrupt the French so much. And we look at the quality on the bench for the All Blacks here. There is a lot of quality. Papali'i, I think his name Papali'i. Papali'i, there we go. Papali'i, honestly, I kind of had like an outside feeling that he was actually going to end up starting, but any one of these players come on, and more than likely we are going to see a lot of them flood the field second half. I don't think the French are going to have that defensive coordination to handle this deadly All Black side, right? But again, we've got to take it with a pinch of salt. This is a very much a weakened side. If you look at the actual French national team, they are probably playing their second, third, fourth choice in each position, right? So, like I say, it has to be taken with a pinch of salt. In terms of the All Blacks, there are some players here that are their first team choices, right? Getting in those hours, getting in that repetition. So, guys, let me know what you guys think. What do you think the chances of France winning here? Unfortunately, I do not hold much hope or faith for them. All I want to see is a brilliant performance. Now, as always, I'm going to be up on the Saturday. No matter depending on where you are, I'm in the UK, so I'm probably going to be up for the Scotland game. First thing, I think that's around 4 a.m. and then rolling all the way through to the end of the night. So, guys, as always, like and subscribe. It really does help the channel grow. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye.